Ah, yes, the Mercedes-Benz GLA. Like most premium crossovers, when it first saw daylight back in 2014, the GLA was a hit. In fact, Mercedes managed to secure a worldwide sale of 1 million units. However, there was some negativity surrounding it. People were complaining that the GLA-Class was nothing more than just a rebodied A-Class, somewhat like a hatchback on stilts, if you may, making all the claims about this car supposedly to be a genuine crossover all empty. But the current second generation GLA-Class that you see here today intends to change all of that. I mean, it looks more distinctive now, in my opinion. It's got bulges in the right areas. It looks more aggressive, more muscular. In fact, in my eyes, it sort of reminds me a little bit of the GLE, just a miniature version of it instead. But I think when we talk about crossovers, the most important part is the boot space. I say we check that out. The Mercedes-Benz GLA200 is priced just under $180,000. The 1.3-litre turbocharged engine produces 161 brake horsepower and 250 Nm of torque. The 7-speed dual-clutch transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 km/h in 8.7 seconds. For more details on the Mercedes-Benz GLA200 or any other car, head on to sgCarMart.com to help you make the smart choice on your next car. So what you're looking here is 435 litres worth of boot space. Now the good news is it is some 14 litres bigger than its predecessor. The bad news is I don't see any hooks or catches around here that will allow me to knock the rear seats down from where I am. So I suspect you will actually have to knock them down from the rear seats itself. But first, let's just see if it passes the auntie's trolley's length test. Thank you. Like this. Nope, it doesn't pass. Let's do it with the luggage. Jing, jing, jing. No, it doesn't pass. But if you were to move things around, I'm sure it'll be able to fit just fine. There you go. So before I review the back seat, I'm just going to show you guys how you knock the rear seats down. It's via this pulley right here. Pull it, you can knock it down. It's the same for the center portion as well. It kind of folds flat, so it's very good for moving furniture around. It may be manual, but it definitely gets the job done. Now obviously, it being a compact SUV, space is ample, obviously for someone my size as well. This seat, the front seat has been set to John's sitting position, so despite that, I'm still getting a lot of legroom. It's 30 millimeters longer in terms of wheelbase compared to its predecessor, so this translates to this much. It's a lot of headroom as well, so I'm quite sure someone who's taller than I am will still enjoy a lot of space all around. Center seat, the important one. Now it's soft actually, it's not hard. It looks hard, but it's not. It's actually quite soft. It's nice and comfortable. Transmission tunnel, low, so I can still put my leg here. You could fit 3 with a squeeze. I do think that 2 would be the most comfortable, obviously, but it'll definitely fit 3 at the back. Knock this down. You can't open this portion, so you can't really put a lot of barang here. But as with most cars, you get cup holders right here, and it's quite slick, all flushed and nice. I do have some thoughts about this though. Most cars, if you actually take notice, don't come with black roof lining. It's usually in grey or beige color. When you see black roof lining, it sort of gives you an idea of just how atas and premium the car really is. Now, I may be wrong, to be honest, because I remember the Honda Jazz RS actually came with black roof lining, and that sort of enhanced the whole sporty feel of that car. But for the GLA, it definitely exudes a lot of luxury and a lot of sense of sportiness. You know that this is definitely in its premium league, and I kind of like that. Everywhere else looks fine. Oh, I do have one complaint though. The car does not come with rear aircon vents. It comes with a cubby hole and small little pockets with 2 USB-C ports, but I do wish that it had rear aircon vents. That would have completed the whole thing, if you know what I mean. To the front seat. Now let's get the elephant out of the room first. This is two 10.3-inch screens merged together. It's massive, it's larger than life. And I suspect it's because of this that makes the cabin of the GLA the best in its class. Now we're going against cars like the BMW X1, the Audi Q3, maybe even the Volvo XC40, and the cabin of the GLA is definitely right up there. But here's the thing, right? I've been driving this car for several days now, and it's also because this isn't the first Merc that I'm driving. I only use the Bluetooth function. I didn't really meddle a lot with the entire system, so to speak. So I find myself feeling like I would prefer my cabin to be simpler, cleaner. I would prefer not to have to pay a premium for this, which most GLA buyers would. But that said, there's a lot of wow factor. You know, you come into the cabin, you look at this, you look at this, you look at everything, it's just wow. And I'm pretty sure GLA buyers are going to feel that. First time GLA buyers, for that matter. Elsewhere, you get a multifunctional steering wheel with piano black material here with all the buttons here that gives you haptic feedback. You can adjust, on my left, adjust this screen. On my right, just this. It gives you what you need to know about the car, from your mileage and your acceleration to your consumption and your speed. Everything else feels okay. I mean, you have a very simply laid out dashboard with this plasticky material here that sort of resembles a 3D diamond sort of design. You get 2 cubby holes, wireless charging. This feels a little flimsy, but it gets the job done for sure. You have more cubby holes, more USB-C ports, which is always a good thing. Now, the only complaint I have is that the gear lever isn't where it should be, like right here. I mean, obviously, you're not going to do something stupid like drive halfway and just go like, oh no, it's missing. You're not, because I've been driving this car for several nights now, right? And it took me several hours to just get used to where the gear lever is, which is right here at the signal stock. So if you are worried that if you buy the GLA, this is going to be a problem, I can assure you it's not going to be a problem. It's a matter of adapting and a matter of getting used to, I'm sure. Everything else feels good, feels premium. Only question is, does it drive as good as it looks? One way to find out. So the Mercedes-Benz GLA200, let's get the figures out of the way first. So it pumps out some 161 brake horsepower and 250 Newton meters of torque from a 1.3-litre turbocharged engine. Now it's quite a modest engine, I must say. I say modest because more often than not, you feel like you're left wanting more. It can be a little bit underwhelming at times, but it's not all a bad thing, because when you mash the throttle, it will still do its overtaking maneuvers with ease. Now, the only problem is when you do that, the engine sounds more strained than stirred. But to be fair, you don't really buy a GLA200 for its sporty disposition, right? You buy it to haul your family from place to place, you put your barangs in there for its functionality and for its comfort. Now, on that note, the GLA actually excels. Now, it's relatively comfortable. It will ferry your family from point to point in a very fuss-free, comfortable manner, because it will soak up all the bumps and ruts and humps and broken tarmac with ease. It's slightly on the stiff side, the suspension, but it's not to the point where your kids at the back will go every time you go over bumps and ruts. They won't, so it's still very much acceptable. Now, what's not so acceptable, unfortunately, from my experience, is it's 36 degrees outside right now, and my aircon fan blower is on 5, speed 5, and is at the lowest set temperature possible. It's like low. And I still feel freaking hot, like I'm actually sweating a little bit. So that's not really a good thing. Can you imagine your poor friends and family who are seated behind? They're gonna sweat buckets, man. I mean, the fact that the GLA does not come with rear aircon vents does not help the situation at all. And when it comes to performance, the GLA200 does not disappoint. Yes, it's not crazy fast, it's not mighty quick, but because the steering is relatively precise, it carves corners with a lot of confidence, and there's a lot of grip in the front wheels. You don't exactly feel, it's not the most well-weighted, but it's quite communicative. So going around bends at higher speeds does instill a little bit of confidence. Yup. Lovely stuff. So the GLA200 manages to hold itself very well. Surprisingly, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that the length has shortened, and that kind of just makes it a little bit more compact. Even though the height has gone up a little bit, you feel the roll. Undoubtedly, there's some roll, but it's nevertheless quite a nice car to just chuck around like a lunatic. So, big question. Will buy, won't buy, or go try the Mercedes-Benz GLA200? My answer is go try. Why? Simply because the GLA200 isn't for everyone. It most definitely isn't for me. More often than not, I find the car a little underwhelming, so I would suggest that if you feel the same way, you might be able to try out the more powerful variants that Mercedes is offering for the GLA. Second reason, I mean, at this price point, you might be able to consider other cars in this class like the Q3, Q2, X1, X2 maybe even, you know what I mean? So don't get me wrong, I mean, the GLA is a fantastic car. The cabin is a work of art. It looks great. It's more rugged now, more aggressive looking. The space at the back is a lot more, at least it's a lot more on paper than compared to the GLA, and from what I can remember, it is, and it does feel a lot more as well. But it's just not my cup of tea. Maybe the GLA 45. Anyway, that's the review for the Mercedes-Benz GLA200. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell notification button so that you'll be notified every time we upload new videos. Please also don't forget to comment in the comment box below and tell us what you think about the GLA200. In the meantime, stay safe, be well, ciao.